All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Payoff Pitch. I'm your host, Paul Valley. Haven't done an episode in a little over a week, so I figured, almost 2 weeks, actually. Wow. So I figured I'd throw one at you. Orioles right now, they sit at 14-10, and for the first time since opening day, they're not in first place. On opening day, they were a half game back because the Blue Jays had already played a game and against the Rays, and I believe and they had won. But pretty much the entire month of April, the Orioles spent that entire month in first place, and at 11:27 on May 1st, 11:27 p.m. on May 1st, they fell out of first place for the first time since opening day. Half game behind the Red Sox as they go to open their series tonight against the New York Yankees. They're facing off against Luis Severino. Severino against Chris Tillman tonight. Yankees in last place at 8-15. Not off to the start that everybody expected them to be at. When I did a show back to preview the season at the beginning of the year, I said that I picked the Yankees to finish in third place, but I felt that if they stayed healthy, they probably had the best overall team in the division. Right now, they're tied for 14th in runs scored in the American League, which is last. And they're not pitching that well aside from Masahiro Tanaka. And they're just not doing the things that you would expect them to do. Now, that should change. I don't think this is a sub-500 team. I don't think this is a last-place team. But the Yankees are struggling right now, and they're still without their closer, Aroldis Chapman, until next week. So the Orioles need to take advantage. Coming off a split with the White Sox where they won the first two games of the series, lost a heartbreaker in the third game, and that was a game they needed because you know that they were going up against Chris Sale on Sunday, and that was probably a lost cause because Chris Sale is one of the best pitchers in the game, and Ubaldo has been wildly inconsistent for the Orioles since he's been here. So, and of course, the Orioles lost that game 7-1. So, looking back on April, like I said, the team went 14-9 in that month. They were in first place every day from April 6th on. The team offensively hit .273 as a club with 34 home runs. They scored 108 runs, which I believe was third in all of baseball. The problem was the pitching. Starters' ERA was 4.55. The starters went 7-7 in the month with a 4.55 ERA. Didn't get very deep in games. The bullpen was the saving grace. The bullpen was 7-2 in the month of April with a stellar 2.24 ERA. Second only to the Chicago White Sox in all of baseball for bullpen ERA. So, bullpen, again, the saving grace, the starting rotation, question marks as it has been all season, as it probably will be all season unless the Orioles make a trade or do something to improve this staff. For the month of May, the Orioles, they're completing a homestand with 3 against the Yankees and then 3 against the Oakland Athletics before heading to Minnesota for 3 games and then coming home again, I believe, for a 7-game stretch. So, again, Severino against Tillman tonight, hoping that the bats can get going after they got pretty much shut down by Chris Sale. And the thing is, they actually didn't play that badly on Sunday. The problem was they kept getting guys on base and they couldn't get them home. They had runners on base in almost every single inning in that game on Sunday. And a couple of times they had multiple runners on with less than 2 outs and couldn't get anybody home. So, but that's what a good pitcher does. Chris Sale didn't have his best stuff going. He's a double-digit strikeout guy. Most of the time he only struck out 5 for the game. But he was able to wiggle out of trouble. And that's what good pitchers do. When they don't have their best stuff, they manage to find a way to win games. Injury bug, unfortunately, hit the Orioles in that series on Saturday. Zach Britton trying to cover first base on or trying to get to a ball that was bunted down the line by Eaton. He stepped on and jammed his left foot, causing a mild ankle sprain. He's day to day. Probably won't pitch today or tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have him back by the series finale on Thursday. Darren O'Day will probably take over the closing duties, putting Brad Brock in the 8th inning setup role, Michael Givens in the 7th inning role, and so on and so forth. J.J. Hardy is the big one. J.J. Hardy fouled a ball off his foot on Sunday, came out of the game, and at first they thought it was contusion, but after x-rays and an MRI, it turns out it's a hairline fracture in his foot. and he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, which means that Ryan Flaherty's getting called back up early. They were probably going to call him up on Thursday anyways, coming up 2 days early to take over. Probably going to play third base with Manny moving over to short for the majority of the games while Hardy's gone. It's Ryan Flaherty. Leaves a lot to be desired. We all know that. But the thing I can say about Ryan Flaherty, you ask most baseball coaches, most analysts, they'll tell you it takes about 1,000 at-bats, 1,000 Major League at-bats before you really hit your stride and become the hitter that you're going to be. Ryan Flaherty right now is at 957 at-bats for his career. About a 270 hitter in the minors for his career. He had 20 homer power. I think he had 1 or 2 20 home run seasons in the minors. So, I think at this point in his career he has more power than Hardy does. A solid defensive player. The Orioles can get 240 out of him over the next 6 to 8 weeks while Hardy's out. A little bit of power there. I don't think that they're going to miss a beat too much. He's a very solid defensive player. Going to play third base because his arm isn't strong enough to play short on a regular basis. Moving Manny, who's the best third baseman in the world, in my opinion, over to short, I think he automatically becomes the best shortstop in the American League right now. Yes, even better than Correa. I was going to correct myself, but I think he's a better fielder than Correa. And I think at this point, Correa has a better bat. Correa might be better eventually, but I think Machado is probably the best shortstop right now in the American League with with Hardy being out and Manny moving over. So hopefully the injury bug doesn't hurt too much. I mean, Hardy's bat, he was hitting 240 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs on the season. Not terrible, not what you were hoping for after the way he was stinging the ball in spring training. Ryan Flaherty hopefully can take over admirably in his absence, and hopefully Orioles don't skip a beat. Big series with the Yankees. I feel like they need to take 2 or 3. You always want to win 2 or 3. This team's not playing good baseball right now, so the Orioles need to pounce on that. Like I said, the Yankees are in last place at 8-15. Orioles half game out at 14-10. Pick up some ground in the standings, maybe get back into first place, win 2 or 3 against the Yankees, maybe sweep, who knows. But that's really all I have for right now. You can follow me on Twitter at Paul Valley III. Haven't been posting as much just because I've been working a ton recently, and that's why I haven't done a lot of shows recently either, but I'm going to try and get myself back into it. But until next time, thanks for watching, and go O's.